I got a quick hot take for you, mostly just because this involves something I did this week. Buying a new car is almost always a choice. I'm even willing to say it is a choice, not a necessity. And I'm not saying that because I'm critical of people buying things that they want. For example, I sold a relatively new, perfectly working car and bought myself a 72 Cuda. Not because it made any financial sense. It certainly didn't. Have at it. Have fun. The part that I'm critical of is when people say things like, oh, well, my current car needed this repair done, so I needed to buy a new car. That's basically never the case.
Yeah, that's nonsense.
The amount of critical failures your car would need to encounter to justify, keep in mind, the average new car payment right now in America is $776, almost $800 a month. The number of things we need to break on your car to be blowing $800 a month, that just does not happen. Now, you may have occasionally something go wrong with your vehicle that costs more than that. For example, I have a Grand Caravan. The transmission went out in it. That was about $3,000, but that comes with a 5-year unlimited mile warranty. So if you average it out, that's $50 a month. You're going to have to add up a lot more things to get to $800. You're going to be paying for that vehicle multiple times over, literally, to justify buying a new car. Or even used cars now are over $500 a month on average. Mm-hmm. So it's better to just fix whatever's going on with your car. Now, if you don't have the time or it's just not worth it to you, fine, whatever. Again, do what you want.
Don't pretend you needed it.
Exactly. Yeah. It's the people that say, oh, well, it was making a noise, so I had to sell it and get a new car because it could have been expensive.
A friend of mine from church had said, hey, I really want a new car. And, we're concerned that this one's starting to need some repairs. Like, at what point can I justify to my wife that we need a new car? I said, and I use that exact argument about how much a new car is per month. I said, they're more to insure. They're much more to register.
Even then, get
not a new car.
Yeah, not a brand new car. Other things happened to my vehicle recently. So it overheated on a trip to Vegas. Now, again, I'm not a mechanic by any stretch of the imagination. I just know how to use YouTube. And I found really good guides on how to diagnose some of this stuff. And just using some basic
hand tools
and just testing, I was able to figure out what was likely going on, just some research. So what you're seeing here is the oil filter housing, which on these vehicles is plastic to save money, of course. Now, this is a 3.6 liter V6 that Chrysler puts in basically everything. It's a very well documented issue that over time, especially in hotter climates, this plastic gets brittle and it will also warp because there's metal pieces and there's plastic pieces, which all expand and contract at different rates. And so anywhere that you have metal meeting with the plastic, or if for example, recently changed the oil and you tighten that filter on there to its torque specs, you get these radial cracks around it. You can see where the oil has been leaking. The aluminum replacement for this, Amazon, next day, $50. No special tools needed for that. Now, I did buy a handful of things to make the job easier, but now those are tools I have for something else that might go wrong in the future.
So those are things that will pay you back.
And that's after I took out the old one there. So that's the old plastic housing. And then this is the new all aluminum one, which should not, hopefully, have the same issues as the plastic one. And you see that on the left, you could see all of that oil that's in there. That is not supposed to be there. Mm-hmm. So after doing my research, I was fairly confident that that's where my oil leak was coming from. So I had my car was overheating and I had an oil leak, which apparently were independent from each other. But I researched it. Sure enough, all that oil in there was a dead giveaway that it was that housing that was leaking. And then I replaced it there on the right. Again, just regular hand tools in my garage. Spent 2 days working on it. Cleaned up while I was in there. I also replaced the thermostat 'cause, again, I didn't know what exactly was causing the overheating. So I replaced things of the cooling system that
and that's cheap insurance. That's
super
while
cheap.
You're in there.
This was like a $10 product, and that was an upgraded aluminum housing and replaced the plastic one. And again, next day shipping on Amazon, $10. Like, this is not. You're going to be replacing a lot of stuff before you get to $776 a month.
You're gonna have the minivan of Theseus before you need to replace it.
There were gaskets on the intake manifold. While I had the intake manifold off, I replaced the spark plugs. They'd never been replaced. Also replaced the pulleys and the belts because, again, I wasn't sure what was causing the overheating. And
tensioner. They
were very cheap, so I did those as well because they had to come off anyway because I also replaced the water pump. Didn't see any obvious damage on it, but after replacing all that, it's not overheating anymore. So it was one of those things. And for less than...
Do you care which one it was?
Not really.
Me either.
For less than $500, including all the tools I bought, I've fixed my car. And I've done way more on the car than I've done in months. I didn't get anywhere near $800. And I'm not going to be doing that every single month.
You're not going to do that for another 10 years.
Another 10 months. It's a Chrysler.
Hey, this is a Chrysler product, and I'm still making this advice. Okay, so keep that in mind. This isn't like a Toyota, which if you happen to have a Toyota, the advice goes double for you. You don't need to replace it. So yeah, that's really the point that I'm getting at. If you want to get a new car because you want a new car, great, have at it, have fun.
Don't pretend that you needed it because of the repairs.
Exactly.
This is a cold take, Mason. Ice cold take.
You and I think so, but I hear a lot of people say this. People I know personally, like that I'm close to, that have bought new cars recently because something was wrong with their car. And again, if they're like, I just don't want to deal with it, fine. But don't make the financial case. Like we can write these numbers down if you want, and I will show you this. That does not make any ounce of sense. If you just want it because you want it, whatever, cool.
We just bought this Kia Carnival. We could have bought a Kia Sedona, and it would have probably met 80+%, maybe 90+% of what we needed from a minivan. Honestly, we could have gone and bought like a 2006 Honda Odyssey and gotten at least 75% of what we wanted out of the vehicle. But I'm married, and my wife wanted something nice and that's new.
And you could afford it, so you made it happen.
Yeah.
For us, like, I wanted her to have what she wanted.
My car's paid off. This is going to cost me 2 days and $500 to keep this car. For me, that's easy math.
Now, for some people, it can make financial sense if your time is really valuable. If you're not a W-2 employee that can take PTO, like if you work in sales or if you work in some sort of
own your own business
time, or like if I take 2 days off, I will lose $1,600.
Especially if you had to lose the revenue and you still had costs incurred.
That's a good point.
Yeah.
If your time is more valuable, like literally more valuable.
That's what all these like really wealthy guys say.
Then you pay someone to fix the car.
I did price it out. If I were to have someone do this, I got quotes for the 2 major things I replaced, not even including like spark plugs and other little things, which I'm sure would add up. But just the 2 big things I did is about $2,500.
That's a lot of money.
It is a lot of money.
One of the things that I have that I can take advantage of is on base, they have the Auto Skills Center. I think it's $5 an hour. You can rent a whole suite of tools. You can lift your vehicle up and you can do all the work in this garage. And there are mechanics on staff that are there for like safety purposes.
That is such an amazing benefit. I didn't even know about that.
But I haven't understood for a long time why people haven't brought this Auto Skills Center platform to the private sector, why someone doesn't open a garage. I have actually now started to see a couple ads for places that do just this, but they go beyond that. It's like a Dave & Buster's or Buffalo Wild Wings, something like that, where like
there's a restaurant attached.
It's more than just a restaurant. It's an atmospheric thing where you can not only store vehicles, you can work on your own vehicles, you can rent tools, you can seek mechanic advice, but there's also like lounges with pool tables and like sodas and snacks. And
I imagine the liability insurance.
That is exactly what I was going to get at.
Both storing hundreds of thousands, if not potentially millions of dollars in vehicles, and personal injury.
People and dropping tools that disappear.
Car on their head. Yeah.
The
insurance has to be insane.
We had one in Phoenix, and that's what put it under was the insurance.
You'd have to charge so much that it'd be like, well, at this point, it's cheaper to just pay someone else to do it.
Right.
Because maybe I'm only paying $50 an hour, but it's going to take me 5 times as long than it will a professional. I wonder.
It's a narrow market for people that want to work on their own car.
Liability would be insane because people might drop a car on their head.